I'm Jacqueline, and this is Unapologetics. Today we will be talking about the existence of God. Seems like a pretty basic thing, but obviously it's caused a lot of controversy. So, how do we know God exists? Thomas Aquinas, who is one of the big three in Catholic theology, he was incredibly smart and wrote a giant book called the Summa Theologicae. So he wrote that giant book, and in it, he has 5 proofs for the existence of God. The first one being the argument from motion. And have you ever set up like a giant thing of dominoes that like stretches from your neighbor's house all the way to your other neighbor's house, and then you press the first one and they all follow? In order for that last domino or one of those middle dominoes to fall, the one before it has to fall, and the one before it has to fall. And same with all things set in motion. There has to be something else causes it to move. And this process can't go back infinitely in time. There has to be a first mover, and that first mover, Aquinas says, is God. The second argument is the argument from causes. It's similar to the first. Nothing causes itself to exist. So the thing that causes the first thing to exist is God. The third argument is the argument from possibility and necessity. This one gets a little bit tricky. So everything in nature is possible. For example, at some point this book did not exist, and at some point in the future it will cease to exist. But if at some point in time absolutely nothing existed, then nothing could come into existence unless there was a being who was absolutely necessary, who must exist, who by necessity always has existed and always will exist, and that being would be God. The fourth argument is the argument from degrees of perfection. Some things are more perfect than other things. However, they can only be more perfect than one another in relationship to how perfect they are in compared to the most perfect. And the most perfect would be God. The fifth argument is the argument from governance. Events that happen by chance occur randomly. Events that are ordered by intelligence fit into patterns. And the universe obviously fits into patterns. The sun is in the center, and then the earth and all the planets revolve around that, and then the moons revolve around all the other planets, and things make sense, and we can logically understand them, and we can predict things based on these patterns. It's the whole science called physics. However, these beings in themselves are not intelligent. The earth does not have an intelligence of its own. So it has to be ordered by something outside of itself with intelligence, and that would be God. These arguments are all arguments for the existence of God based solely off of human reason. However, there's another pattern or another way that you can know God, and that's simply through listening to your own heart, as cheesy as that just sounded. Augustine struggles with this question of how do we know God and his confessions. And he makes the observation, our hearts are restless until they rest in you, O God. We're always searching for something else, especially as teenagers. Like that adolescent angst, I'm not saying that's always like us searching for God, but it's searching for something outside of ourselves. It's searching for meaning. And we're always going to have that restlessness, and sometimes we'll find other things to fill it. We'll find the cool kids at school. We'll find material things. We'll find like the coolest trends and music, and we'll make these other things our gods and try and fill that hole within ourselves with these other things, but they only satisfy us for so long, and then we go back to being restless and searching for something else, and that something else has to be God, if you ask me. Cheers.